So it's December, and you know what that means. It means I'm over a month late putting this video out because in October we got a new Ubuntu release 22.10 Kinetic Kudu, and not only are we going to check out what's new, we're going to pimp it out, turbocharge it, yes, make it great. Anyway, hang out a while, stay tuned. Hello. You're watching DS Tech Media. I'm Jay. I cover Linux, open source software, and computers, and making things with Linux. Music, video, graphics, everything you see is made entirely with Linux. Speaking of which, please hit that like button. It's easy and it's free. And if you think I did a good job, consider subscribing and sharing. Also find us on Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, and lots of other platforms. They'll be in the description of this video below. So if you didn't already know, Ubuntu drops a new release every April and October. So every 6 months, that's where the numbers come from. The first number, 22, is the year, and the second number, 10, is October. Also, every 2 years, we get a long-term support release, or LTS, meaning it receives maintenance and security updates for 5 years, or 10 if you purchase extended support. And in April of this year, we got LTS 22.04. And this release, 22.10, is a regular release, only supported for 9 months. So let's jump right in. So first off, this is the loading screen, which is actually called Plymouth. I'm not a fan of the new Ubuntu logo. It's like a new simplification, which is what all companies are doing now. They're all simplifying their logos. And from a design standpoint, that makes sense. Problem I have with it, it's just less distinctive. The circle of friends, as it's called, started off with 3 colors, then they went to 1 against a dark background. Now they have this, which is actually very much like the Windows Share logo. Not a huge fan, just something I had to get off my chest. The first thing I want to note, this session defaults to Wayland. You can actually still use Xorg. Once you select your name, you go down here to the gear icon, and Ubuntu is Wayland, and Ubuntu on Xorg is, of course, the classic Xorg. We start off with our online accounts. We can choose if we want to send system info, turn location services on or off, and we're ready to go. My last video was about GNOME 43. I tested out GNOME OS. GNOME OS is not an actual OS, just nightly builds of the GNOME desktops missing certain things, such as one of the best parts, the extensions. With 22.10, we get GNOME 43 and all of its benefits. So the new quick settings center here, which has the nightlight, the power options are here, the awesome new screenshot app as well. So you can do select the area, full screen, or window. Also can now record videos as well. And we get system-wide dark mode, which looks very nice. Additionally, it ships with Linux kernel 5.19. So not the absolute newest, but pretty new nonetheless. SMP stands for symmetrical multiprocessing. That's nothing new, but preempt dynamic means it has preemption where the scheduler can interrupt a process for a higher priority process, beneficial where there's time sensitivities like working with music. It can also be good for mouse input for playing games and things like that. So that is new to 22.10. Pipewire is now the default audio system, so you benefit from all the improvements there. Firefox ships as a snap. They claim to have improved the boot up time. I just clicked it. We're gonna see how quick that is. This is the first time I've opened it ever. And there it is. So not the fastest open time. Oh, also the overview is supposed to render up to 15% faster. It does seem pretty snappy. Beyond the startup time, they've fixed the lack of native messaging support for things like password managers and the GNOME extension integrations. So little issues like that you may have experienced with the Firefox as a snap should have been fixed. I'm gonna go ahead and install the add-on that lets you install GNOME extensions from the website. Let's just go ahead and close it for good measure. Let's see how quick it opens this time. It's faster than the first time. Extensions dot. I never normally open the Ubuntu desktop guide, but I thought it was interesting. It says comes installed with slightly modified version of GNOME. Here's a list of the noticeable differences. Ubuntu comes with Firefox instead of the GNOME browser, Remina instead of GNOME connections. App indicators extension is included. Ubuntu dock extension is included. Minimize and maximize buttons are included in the window title bars. You need to have GNOME Shell Extensions package installed to make GNOME Classic available. Let's go ahead and see if that makes any difference here. I love how they link to it from the official help guide, and it says potentially unsafe. Allow Firefox web browser to start web extensions. Allow. And it's working. It's kind of crazy that I had to go through all of that, and just by chance I had read that documentation. It's honestly not great. The Ubuntu Software Center now comes as a snap. Software Center is actually listed as the Snap Store. Just about anything you open, you're going to get the Snap version. That's crazy. I wouldn't want the Snap version of OBS Studio. Let's go to music and audio here. See, we've got new and updated and other software. For whatever reason, new and updated disappears every time, and you're just left with the other software. I noticed the list here was kind of limited. For instance, LMMS, and it's not listed here. However, if I do a search for LMMS, it is there. It doesn't show up in that list. It also happens to not have a snap version. So it seems like Ubuntu software is hiding non-snap applications despite them being present. Also missing was Ardor. And what do you know? Once again, does not have a snap version. What I'm gathering from this is if the software isn't available with the snap version, you don't even get to see it. That's not good at all. Not happy about that in any way. I'm gonna go ahead and install Flatpaks. We don't have Flatpaks because Ubuntu and Canonical are pushing their snap technology. They don't include Flatpaks, and that's fine. On Ubuntu 18.04, I had to add extensions or libraries, but I can install snaps, Flatpaks, and the native deb files. I cannot do that through this software center. Just like GNOME 43, we do get the new version of Nautilus with its nice new looks and its responsive design. I really dig the Yaru icon themes. Everything is very nice looking. There's some other little improvements like the rubber band select. Oh, also, if you have external drives connected, you can right click them and go to format, and it will automatically open GNOME disks so that you can format or partition or what have you. It also includes the latest version of Thunderbird, and amazingly is not packaged as a snap. Oh, just to show you all the snaps that are installed in the system. We've got Core, Firefox, GNOME 3.38, GTK Common Themes, Snap Store, Snapd, and Snapd Desktop Integration. As far as other software, LibreOffice Document Scanner, Calculator, System Monitor, the Cheese Webcam Controller, Rhythmbox, and Shotwell. There's the new text editor, the one that replaced gedit. Luckily, they don't ship the new GNOME terminal. We get the regular one that includes all the features. I cover all that in the GNOME 43 video. We get the startup, disk creator, transmission for torrent files, which I've always found it odd that they ship that out of the box. This extensions app, I may have just installed this. I added some music already so that give a better demonstration of Rhythmbox. One of the best apps Ubuntu ships with by default is Shotwell. And Shotwell is a photo viewer and management software. And I added photographs so I could demo this as well. We can add tags and flag or rate photos, but we can enhance photographs. We can do marking the faces. The enhance is automatic enhancement of the adjust feature. You can adjust colors and whatnot. You can also crop, rotate, take red eye out. Another very important capability, it has support for raw images, which is very cool. So just awesome application. I'm glad that they still ship that by default. They actually have removed the To-Do app, which came installed before. I kind of disagree with that because it made use of Google account integration, so you could sync tasks and reminders, calendars and whatnot, and To-Do was able to sync your notes or tasks. I feel like they should have kept To-Do. I saw someone say that you could install it manually. However, I've searched several times now and it is not in this software center. I'm sure if I went out of my way to find it, I could get it, but as for now, it's not there. We've got some other basic games. There is Video, which is the Totem video player.
I put a mark on your map. Get there and breach. Taking a prisoner would be ideal. Anna, you cover him.
For utilities, we get document viewer, archive manager, logs, passwords and keys, disk usage analyzer, backups. Wow, they've really improved the amount of places that you can back up to. Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, network server, this is USB or SD card, or a local folder. Backups has actually improved a little bit. As far as the included software goes, nothing world-changing there. Also, I should mention high-resolution scroll wheel support, and you can also manually upgrade to 22.10 if you're on 22.04. So this is the settings app, also benefits from the responsive design. Very smooth how the animations and everything works. And when you minimize a window, very smooth in that regard as well. This is the appearance tab. We've got some other backgrounds. But the coolest thing is accent color. So from here we can also change between bright and dark, and we can change the accent color. This actually debuted in Ubuntu 22.04, but it's new to me. So your folders change, all your little sliders and everything change. That's very cool. As far as the desktop tab, we can change the dock, make it expand or take up only as much as it needs. You can have it auto hide, adjust the icon sizes, move it to the bottom or to the right. A bunch of multitasking options, active screen edges and hot corners. So if we drag a window, it can automatically take up half the screen. Dynamic workspaces versus a fixed number, and with dynamic workspaces, adds them as you move your window over, or you can set it to a fixed number. Oh, another thing, I have been told that app images do not work in Ubuntu 22.10 lmms.io. Go ahead and download the app image. We're going to go to properties, enable as program, and we're going to hit run. And nothing happens. The reason for that, we don't have libfuse installed, which is the file system in user space. So let's go ahead and do a sudo apt install libfuse. I guess we'll do libfuse 2. There it is. It's installed. And let's see if it works now. And it runs now. So there is that. So I got LMMS and I have it configured to use Jack, and if Pipewire works the way it's supposed to work, when I click one of these samples, it should play. And voila, that's really awesome, because I selected Jack and I don't have Jack installed, but it works. And if I were to switch it over to AUSA or Pulse Audio, Pipewire is going to automatically grab that and translate it. So there's no complicated configuration anymore, and that is awesome. I gotta say, I'm so happy about that. Okay, so that is my general overview of Ubuntu 22.10. We're going to customize it and make it cool, and I'll show you what you can do with it from there. The first one is kind of basic. So over here on the dash, if we click the terminal, it brings it up. If we click it again, nothing happens. And the same is true for any of these icons. So we're going to enable click action minimize. Okay, let's see if it works. And it works. Now, if I click a second time, it minimizes, and that's perfect. While we've got the terminal open here, let's go ahead and install Nautilus admin. And now in our right-click menu, we have edit as administrator and open as administrator. If we want to edit a configuration file, it's just a simple right-click and enter a password and you're good to go. So next up, we already installed the extensions app. Surprisingly, there was a bunch of extensions beyond the ones that Ubuntu uses to modify the desktop. Those might have actually come with this extensions app itself. However, there is a better extension manager that is a Flatpak. We're going to go ahead and install that. I installed Flatpak earlier, but we need to add FlatHub. I'm just pulling this guide from here. Flatpak remote add if not exists, blah, 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 blah. You should be able to figure that out. Flatpak install flathub.com. Alright, and it's installed. Here we go, extension manager. Yes, it looks a lot like the other one, but it has a browse function. GNOME extensions are extremely powerful. They can be anything from an extension that lets your calendar icon or your clocks icon show the actual time and the date on the icon, something as benign as that, or they can be actual apps and utilities like integrating your text messaging in your phone with the GNOME desktop or controlling the hue lights. And I'll just go ahead and install it through the browser. I think it's actually installed now. That's right, I have to go downstairs and press the button. Okay, I pressed the button and it is now working. So let's turn everything off. Turn the brightness up. And we can adjust all of the colors individually. So I'm going to make the one behind me red. Blue, green. Pretty cool, huh? And one that I've been wanting to try out is burn my windows. Okay, broken glass. Doom, energize, glide, fire, matrix, pixel wipe, snap of disintegration. And not only can you switch between these, but you can set one for open and one for close. Okay, let's open the system monitor to test it out. And there it is. Speaking of system monitor, one thing is for sure, Ubuntu 22.10 is definitely not light on memory. Definitely not suitable for a light desktop. Another one I want to check out is the Searchlight extension. So we set a shortcut, and now we can search system-wide. So app image, and it opens the folder containing the app image. Or if you have a photo or anything, kind of like how macOS handles search. It's pretty cool. So anyways, there are a few extensions, and with the extension manager you can browse through hundreds more. There's tons available. This one here removes the annoying window is ready. Every time you open up a window, you get the Firefox is ready or whatever is ready notification. Open weather is one of my favorites. Can add the weather conditions into the panel. You can even change the position of the pop-up itself. This is usually like one of the first things that I install when I'm setting up a new desktop. But yeah, that's a few of the extensions that you can try out if you're on a GNOME-based distro. But there you have it. That's Ubuntu 22.10. I'm kind of torn. I really like the GNOME interface, the accent colors and all, but that's not really unique to Ubuntu. The move towards snaps is my biggest problem. The new Snap Store not displaying native deb applications is a big drawback. I'm sure if I were given enough time, I could get 22.10 working the way I want it to. That was a learning experience that I probably had to go through maybe some of these things when I first used Ubuntu. Back when I used Ubuntu 14.04, it was actually the look and feel that drew me in, honestly, and I like all that about it. I just don't know if I could recommend it to a brand new user. And as for me, I can't see my next Linux distro being Ubuntu. It seems like there's just too many drawbacks, to be honest with you. I'll probably end up having to go back to Arch Linux, maybe even Elementary OS. I think I'd probably prefer Elementary to Ubuntu 22.10. Other than that, it's modern looking, lots of cool functionality and features. It's like one step forward and two steps backwards. But let me know what you think. Would you use it? How do you feel about snap packages? And if you have fixes for any of these things, let us know in the comments section below. If you made it this far in the video, please go ahead and hit that like button. Also, if you like tech and Linux content, I put it out regularly, so hit that subscribe button. I'm super late putting out this video, so Christmas is here, and I guess happy holidays are in order. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next year or in the next one.